wake up in the morning, I have a habit of reaching out for my iPad and looking at the news. I think I have a little bit of what they call, they call me a news junkie. I look at Google News, Channel 7, Love FM, Channel 5, and of course the main Belizean news source, Facebook. Now, what I've become increasingly aware of across these varied news sources is the increase in negativity and really bad news. People in positions of power outrightly disrespecting each other, stories of blatant corruption, killing of individuals, and indeed large groups and races of people with seemingly no repercussions. What I've concluded is that Belize news is not unlike news from everywhere else in the world. It's a lot of bad news and a lack of tolerance that prevails. Actually, it's quite depressing and numbing, and these trends have caused me to consciously change my practice of reaching for the news and checking for the news several times a day. I often find myself feeling sad that as Belizeans, we're so desperate to be like everyone else that many of us don't remember who we are and where we live. I think I'm lucky, but maybe that's because I come from Dandriga. So these days, instead of reaching for the news, I get up and I open my door and I go outside and I breathe in the amazing natural beauty of the Dandriga sunrise. The fishermen casting nets off the beach out front, or the sound of outboard engines bringing guests to the mainland from the islands offshore. I get up, I get dressed, and I go to work at 2 Belizean-owned and operated hotels that serve Belizean food, where guests are taken care of by 65 Belizeans, and where the rate of visitors who are either repeat or referred hovers in the 40 to 50 percentile rate. I am Belizean, born and bred more than 4 generations. Any of you have any questions about that? I grew up in Dandriga and at Southwater Key and at Caribou in the middle of what is now the Southwater Key Marine Reserve. I am totally in love with where I live. For many, the fact that it is not a modern metropolis with the trappings of high society, my home is sometimes seen as a failing society. There are no high-rises. We have no AC. All the buildings do not look like US subdivisions. And oh my God, some of the buildings are not even painted. Well, for most of my life, and that's over 50 years, I have been involved in a tourism business where the primary attraction for all our guests have been the natural attractions for which we are truly blessed. For over 45 years, we, and I do mean the 60 of us that work there, have made our living on utilizing, not destroying, a phenomenal resource that many of us Belizeans have completely taken for granted, the Belizean Barrier Reef. The Belizean Barrier Reef has been attested here tonight, simply does not exist everywhere, or in fact, anywhere else in the world. We didn't create it, we can't build it, we can't borrow money to make it. We just happen to be fortunate to have been born here. It is an incredible natural resource that our fishermen use to feed us, our tourism industry uses to employ us, and Belizeans use to relax and unwind. 20 years ago, UNESCO decided to recognize the areas of our barrier reef as a World Heritage Sites. Many Belizeans recognized the value of our barrier reef way before that. So that designation should have been just a reaffirmation of what we already knew and a tool to let the rest of the world know so that we could share this treasure on our terms. I'm very, very proud of our Belizean company and how it has worked with this natural gift of the Belizean Barrier Reef for over 4 decades. We are landlords to the Smithsonian Institution's 40 years of marine research on Caribou Key, which incidentally is named after my grandmother. And we run a successful and totally environmentally friendly tourism operation on Southwater Key. I mean the full works. Solar power, composting toilets, rainwater management, and strict carrying capacity rules. But I wonder sometimes if that success actually means anything to our powers that be. Our challenges are real and growing, but sometimes it seems like our people in power insist on adding fuel to the fire. Every day we do battle. We already struggle with the effects of global warming over which we have no control, with rising sea levels that have most definitely eroded our beaches, causing increased costs from trying to secure what is left with natural-looking river rocks. And imagine, yesterday I was trying to plant mangrove on that beach. We need, for our business, established carrying capacities on our property because the systems we are using are only designed for a specific number of people, and we are selling peace and quiet and seclusion. Yet, we are threatened by increased boat loads from cruise ships. And how could anyone who has ever actually sat in our crystal clear aquamarine waters even contemplate the possibility of blackening that water with oil exploration? If it is all about the money, then we need some new economists. The world is a mess. Why do we aim to be just like the rest of the world and listen to their experts who obviously aren't experts at all, considering the mess they've made of things? We need, as Belizeans, to believe in ourselves, to look at our own stories of success, to get back to caring about each other, about our future generations, and for the natural treasures with which we have been blessed. There is no other Belizean barrier reef. The rarer a thing is, the greater value it has, and the higher price can be demanded for it. We don't need to be like everyone else and destroy the natural beauty we have in the name of progress. Really, Belize doesn't want to be just another news story, another nasty news story like the rest of the world. I thank UNESCO for its recognition and its designations 20 years ago, and I ask you, as Belizeans, to keep your voices strong and loud and keep yelling out the value of the Belizean Barrier Reef and fighting against any and all threats to its destruction. We have 8,867 square miles of land and marine resources, and we only have 350,000 people. That makes change and success for proper management very doable. So, let's do it. Thank you.